Hi everyone, we're going to do a very simple eucalyptus leaf watercolor painting exercise today. It's three kinds of leaves that we'll do. We'll do the long eucalyptus leaves, the ones that are called willow eucalyptus, and then we're going to do what's called the silver dollar eucalyptus, which is the round ones, and then we'll do a composition of the eucalyptus leaves with the little gumnut berries, so gumnut leaves and berries. So that's what we'll do. We'll use very simple paints. We'll use a mixture of yellow and blue to make a green, and then add a little bit more blue and a little bit more brown or red to it to adjust it to make it like the leaf color, sap green color. So we'll try and stick to the primary colors. We'll try and stick to just one round brush and watercolor paper. So that's all you need for this exercise. I'm now going to move the paper onto the camera, and so you can practice the leaves. So introducing the tools of the trade for you. This one's my paint box. I'm going to use the cool blue, the Prussian blue kind of mix, this ultramarine blue. There's going to be a cool yellow and a warm yellow, and then there's browns here in my paint. So that's the burnt sienna, and then that's the raw sienna. So we're going to mix a few of them and make the best. I think for eucalyptus leaves, we're going to use this cool blue, which is the Persian blue mix, along with the tiny bit of yellow to make it green. So it's like a blue-green, like a sagey, muted blue-green. That's what we're going to do. This is going to be my round brush. I'm using a fairly large round brush. It's the one I ordered from Maria Raksinka, Golden 2. It's a synthetic brush. You can use pretty much any round brush. This is a number 8. I'm using a round brush on a bigger one, but I have got a smaller Winsor & Newton sable brush, number 3 one. So for the smaller leaves, we're going to use the small brush, and for the bigger leaves, we'll use this. So it's going to be a very, very simple technique, but this is basically the palette, and then there's water here, clean water, and then I'm going to mix the paints in the palette, in the ceramic palette, and this is going to be the paper that I'm using. The paper I'm using for today for my exercise is this Aspire watercolor paper. I find it's excellent paper quality. It's very large also. It's 9 by 12 inches, so it's quite a big paper. It's not as expensive as Arches, which is like really expensive. The only two things that I found difficult with this paper was that it doesn't, if you're doing a painting that's going to last that you're going to work on for some days or weeks with realistic painting, then the masking fluid doesn't come off easily, and also the masking tape rips off. But for shorter painting studies and quick paintings, this paper is excellent. It behaves very well in every other way. So I'm going to use this for my study today, for the leaf study. It's going to be a really non-realistic, not impressionist, but more stylized painting. So I don't want to be encumbered by too many drawings and things. So I'm just going to literally use a pencil and draw very lightly the direction of the stems. So if I have this stem, then I want to plan leaves like that and like that. So that's all I'm going to do. And then the other one is going to be like this, and I'm going to draw leaves that go like this. I'll bring the camera a bit closer so you can see that that's the painting. That's the extent of the painting that I'm doing here. There's not more than that. There's only literally a few scrabbly lines like this and a few lines like this. This here is the color wheel that I drew using primary colors. So I've used here French ultramarine, Hamsa yellow medium, and Perylene red. So this is like a warm color wheel. So it's got warmer colors in it. See, this green is quite a yellowy green. Now I really don't want that for my eucalyptus leaves. We could have it, but it'll be a bit too much to ask for it. So I might try another kind of blue-green. And it's this one here, this color, that's kind of closer to what our eucalyptus colors look like. So it's a blue-green, and the way I've made it is with lemon yellow, Prussian blue, and quinacridone red. That's this color wheel. So we're going to use the cooler color wheel, which is the lemon yellow and Prussian blue, to get here. Less Prussian blue will get you a greener green, and the more Prussian blue will get you a bluer green. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. It's a brighter, more vibrant color. I think these three colors, the yellow green, the green itself, the mid green, and the blue green, these three colors are pretty good combination. The brown that we'll use for the stems, we have a choice. We can either use the brown from the palette, burnt sienna or similar, or we can mix the red with the green and it'll make a very pretty brown. So that's what we're going to do. So that's the base painting or the drawing of the pencil sketches that I've done right now, just a guideline with the stem line. So now I'm going to mix the Prussian blue and the lemon yellow together on my palette here, so that you can easily see what I'm doing. I'm just taking my round brush, dipping my round brush in water, which I'm trying to be. And I'm not too fussed about the kind of, oh, this is some sort of a turquoise blue. And see how I'm not, although it's, of course, it's important to be particular about your colors, but with leaves or with being painterly, one can actually have the freedom to do different mixes, at least on the palette, and not worry too much about exactly which blue or which green to use. See how this is like a really fresh, almost highlightery green. Now this is not what leaves look like in real life. It looks too artificial. It looks like something you would buy out of IKEA. So if you want like a more real green, you can of course buy a pre-mixed sap green, which is this color, or you can add a bit of red to this mixture to dull it, to mute it, in other words. So I'm going to use a red. This is alizarin crimson. Touch of it in this corner. Okay. And see how it's become like a duller khaki green. And that's a really dull green, okay? Almost half dead green. Now using this very dull green, we can continue to add a bit more of the Prussian blue. And then a bit more of the yellow. Now this would be the color of the younger eucalyptus leaves, the ones near the edge of the stem. And then we add a bit more of this blue-green. Mixing colors. Okay. Remember, watercolors dry lighter when they are dried. So they look darker when they're wet and they dry lighter. If you use a watercolor pencil, when you put it dry on the paper and it looks light, but when you add water to activate it, it becomes very dark. So that's the difference between using a watercolor pencil So that there is my composition of the eucalyptus leaves and gumnut leaves and gumnut berries. Thank you.